not to be conformed to the patterns of this world, to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Okay, how are you going to renew your mind? Is by going back to the blueprint.
Liken marriage to the union between the church and Christ, then it must be something. Yeah. That's why my husband said that. That's why the devil is trying by all means to fight marriages. You know what I mean? But I believe that faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God, and the opposite is true. So there's a possibility, like my husband has said, the reason why you are fearful about marriage, the reason why you have those thoughts is because you've been letting the negative stuff get in your system by what you watch, like what he said, what you are watching, what you are listening to. Sometimes it's actually what you have experienced. Yeah. Most of those people that have a negative picture about marriage, you know, when you just dig deeper, you hear that maybe they are coming from broken homes, they're coming from abusive homes, or they've seen a lot of marriages fail, you know. People that they respected so much in society, they see them quarrel, they see them break up, and they start to question, you know, themselves if they're any different, you know. Like, you can imagine if your role model fails to sustain a marriage, you start to ask yourself, no, this is a person that, you know, I look up to, and, you know, like, it's failing, then, you know, what is there for me? You know, but like my husband has said, it's good to have faith, you know. Faith is not based on facts. Faith is based on the truth, the word of God. What did God say about marriage? God said it's not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helpmeet, you know. So God knew that the man was supposed to have a wife. That's why marriage, I'll repeat that, is likened to the relationship between, you can imagine Jesus Christ. The Bible commands a husband to love a wife like Christ. Can you imagine? Like the Bible even says that I can allow you to commit suicide, you know, when you are about to die for your wife. Can you imagine that? You know what I mean? So it is important, and one of the things I want, you know, I'm excited about is that I'll be starting a series called Married and Mastering, because one of the things that I hope that you stay glued to my YouTube channel. Please share with as many friends as possible, because it will change your lives. You know, I know that many are the times that I've talked about a lot of nice stuff about marriage, but I think sometimes people just look at me and think, you know, you're probably maybe the only one who has a fulfilling marriage, you know, pretty much, and they start to disqualify because they start to look at the percentage and stuff like that. But one of the things, by the grace of God, that I will try to do is to expose people, baby, to godly marriages, to people that have time-tested nuggets, on how to have a fulfilling marriage. People that will not just come and just lie to you that, marriage will work itself out and so on. People that will come and tell you that marriage is work, but they will give you interesting nuggets on how they make their marriages work. And there'll be a lot, to be honest. For your own information, we'll start to put up videos 2nd week of June. You know what I mean? And I want you to be glued, because we want to expose. We want you to have the right. Yes, you've heard enough about Bollywood, Hollywood, Nollywood, Zwood, whatever you call it. But now it's time for us to expose you to Heavenwood. You know what I mean? Where you know more about what God's ideal plan for marriage is. And these couples, oh my God, like, I just interviewed some baby, like, I was like, oh my God, like, I have an amazing marriage, but I was like, oh my God, like, I am so inspired. And I was like, God, these are some of the things that we need to expose to the world. So, I thought of putting that in, so that in case you're still wondering, yes, I'm reading the word of God, I don't have examples, how do I build my faith and so on. Like my husband says, read the word of God, read the right stuff, watch the right stuff. And one of the things that we need to do is stay glued to my YouTube channel, so that you can interact with these lovely couples that will be able to prove to you that marriage is fulfilling. It is work. You know, like what someone put it, said marriage is like, I don't know, maybe Sue said, it's like, you know, it's like honey. If you have the skill on how to get the honey from the bees, you know what I mean? What happens? You will enjoy the honey. You won't even be stinged. I don't know what you say that. You won't be stung by the bees. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be able to just, get the honey from that and enjoy them. Enjoy it. So what I'm trying to say is, marriage is work, but it's work that is fulfilling. I can go, when it comes to marriage, I can go on and on and on and on and on. But we move on to the next. The last question.
Yeah.
So is it possible
for a marriage to break before it even begins?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't think I understand that question pretty clearly. I'm not sure what it's trying to drive at, but I take a lucky guess, because if you are referring to a marriage before it begins in the realm of courtship, then yes, it is possible for it to fail before it even begins, because courtship is like the foundation that you are laying for your marriage. So foundation is everything. Okay, there are a lot of marriages that are struggling now, not because they don't have the money, they don't have jobs, they don't know what to do with their lives, etc. It's simply because they built their marriages on the wrong foundation.
Maybe I want you to just say something about that, because there's this thing. I believe in grace. Like, I believe I've seen marriages that obviously were built on wrong foundations, but they sought themselves out to Christ, and Christ did a miracle. Do you want to say something about that? Because you were talking about the importance of making sure that your marriage is built on the right foundation.
Exactly. Yeah, so at the end of the day, marriage is a God thing, and so you want to make sure that you do marriage the God way. Okay? But there are people that do marriage the ungodly way. Okay? And this is not to say that if you start out wrong, you're doomed. Not necessarily. But within courtship, you have an opportunity to lay the right and strong foundation for your marriage. Okay? There are decisions that you're making during courtship. Decisions in terms of what you are doing during the courtship period. Okay? There are people that are so careless as to just be sleeping around or sleeping with each other and all of that stuff.
Or get married after all.
Exactly. Okay? Making very poor decisions in their courtship period. There are people that have a lot of money during their courtship period, and that kind of deceives them to say, because we have enough, our marriage is going to be, all rosy. And they build their foundation around the fact that they have a good job, the fact that they have an inheritance, and so on and so forth. These are the things that people transition into marriage with, and then get there and realize to say that the money alone is not enough. Okay? The looks alone are not enough. The inheritance is not enough. Marriage comes with a whole lot more than just the physical things that people fantasize about, that people make a much ado about, nothing about. Okay? So it's important that during this courtship phase, before the marriage begins, you are deliberate about exposing yourself to the right godly material about marriage, about adhering to the principles, okay, of building a solid foundation for a good marriage, understanding the roles, the values that govern marriage, okay, that govern the behavior of a husband and the wife in marriage. That gives you a perspective that prepares and positions you to transition through marriage, whether you have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money, whether your husband or wife has a job or they don't have a job, whether your husband or wife is sick, bedridden, and all of that, whether your husband, you know what I mean, like life has a whole lot of things to come your way, and so if your foundation is not strong, any wind that blows against your marriage can take it down. And so, to answer that question, is it possible for a marriage to fail
before it even begins?
Before it begins, yes, if you are not concentrating on the right foundation. Is it possible for a marriage to succeed before it even begins? Yes, because as you build a solid foundation, you know, it gives you a base to raise something amazing as a result of the foundation that you have built. Caution though, just because you have a strong foundation does not guarantee a beautiful building. We have seen in these streets of Lusaka some very solid foundations that have remained foundations for a very long time.
True.
Okay, so that in itself is not enough. There must be progressive and consistent work towards building a solid and fulfilling marriage throughout the marriage relationship.
Great.
If at all it is to stand the test of time, and if it is to bless the individuals in that particular marriage.
And just to add on, like, one of the things that we observed is, you know, marriage has seasons. Like the first 5 years for us, because our foundation was really strong, you know, we sort of rode, you know, we're riding on our on the knowledge and everything, the principles that we invested in our marriage. But when we crossed over, when we were no longer under 5s, we started to notice that those needs, obviously we kept on updating our knowledge, you know, on marriage and stuff like that, but you notice that seasons change, seasons shift. So if you just build a good foundation, like my husband said, and just chill to say marriage, you work it itself out, you wake up to the shock of your life. You know, so it's important to always update yourself with godly counsel. That's why my husband and I, you know, we belong to Bread of Life. We always attend young couples, you know, workshop sessions and so on and so forth, so that, you know, we can keep up, you know, updated, you know, with what we ought to do in whatever season. Great. So we have come to the end, oh my goodness, of this segment of love relationships question and answer. Hope we answered your question, because we've also answered some of the bonus questions that were posed after, you know, sort of deadline was over. So we hope and pray that this will change your life. You know, if you have any further questions, please feel free. We might not do videos, but maybe we might just post answers and so on. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank, you know, you, baby, for availing your time.
Pleasure.
You know, like, I can assure you that whatever you've offloaded will bless a lot of lives across the world, you know. And I pray that even when that time comes, you go to see Jesus, Jesus will be able to show you some of the fruits of this amazing, you know, wisdom-packed transformation and nuggets that you've unleashed. So may God, you know, fill you up, replenish you, and refresh you.
Hallelujah.
May He continue to give you more wisdom,
Amen.
You know, so that, you know, you can continue to touch more lives. And so thank you so much. And I also want to say a massive thank you to the man, my one and only man director, who's been behind the camera, you know, for I don't know how many hours, how many days, you know, thank God for the lockdown, but it's the one who's been, you know, pretty much doing all the of
I'd like to propose a toast
so
to BBC.
Thank you so much. So may God bless you, Obey, you know, bless you. Thank you so much for the intro. Thank you so much for the videos. You know, I pray. Cheers. I pray that, you know, God will richly bless you. I pray that, you know, you can't just do these amazing videos and not get married well, you know what I mean? Like I prophesy. A godly marriage, so fulfilling, and I believe that even when you are sort of putting these pieces together, you are also learning one or two things. So yeah, it's been your girl Red Rose Abba Missionary. I'm a dude, Gabby GP Abba Missionary, and we say bye.
2 fingers in the air.
So bye bye. Thank you.